Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
Midway USA brand product designers have one straightforward goal: develop high-quality, technically sound products and deliver them to customers at reasonable prices. If you are immersed in the shooting sports industry and pay close attention to every single detail, you know our products are built right and stand up to everyday use. Who has shooting mats and range bag systems to hunting clothing and just about everything for the outdoors? Log on and shop 24/7 with super fast shipping. MidwayUSA.com.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and what are the odds? We got another great episode for you today. Today we're connecting with another listener of the podcast. This time, Dan, I hope you don't take offense to this, but we got an old-timer. We got a gentleman who's been hunting for longer than I've been alive, and I am super excited to share the stories that he has with you today. Dan didn't disappoint. He tells great stories, and he's a lot of fun to listen to, and I hope to have him back on here in the future, because I'm sure we didn't have nearly enough time to get to all the wonderful stories that this man has. So Dan, thank you again. To you listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please make sure you follow, subscribe, like, do all those things to algorithm us up to the top. But that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off and let Dan tell you some of his stories. All right, Dan, welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. How are you?
Good. Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, it's Friday, midday, and I get to hear some hunting stories from a listener of the podcast, man. So thank you so much for, one, reaching out, and then, two, for being brave enough to come on here and tell some stories. I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, well, you know, most of the world knows most of my secrets, so I'm not too worried.
Perfect. Well, let's do this, Dan. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick? You can be as brief or as long-winded as you'd like, but let's let the people know who they're hearing some stories from today.
Okay, well, I'm Dan. I'm in my 60s. I didn't come from a hunting family. I picked up hunting in my teens. When I was, I'll give you an example. When I was 4, I picked up fishing when I was about 11. Got into that real heavy. I mean, I'd ride my bike down to the river every chance I could get and fish. Mm-hmm. And when I turned 14, I had this, I don't know, I saw these guys, when I say old, I saw these two older guys out there. When I say older guys, they're probably in their 30s, right? But they seemed older.
Yeah.
And they'd be out duck hunting, and I know I drove them crazy. I'd ask them 1,000 questions. You know, just think of some scrawny kid wearing glasses asking 1,000 questions, you know?
Yeah. Why?
And,
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why do you do this? Yeah, how come this? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they made up stuff just to get rid of, you know, to shut me up, you know? But when I was 14, I had this, I wanted to go duck hunting. So I went out, took hunter safety, and, you know, did that course and everything. And I had to borrow a .22 from one of my friends to do the shooting part of hunter safety, because we had no rifles or anything in the house. Well, anyway, and also I've worked, I come from a sort of a large family, oldest of 8.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was. And so money was something that I always had to work, put it that way. You know, even I mean, my parents tried to help with, you know, I wrestled through high school, because when you're a scrawny kid, that's about all you can do, you know. Anyway, and so I had to pay for a lot of that, but your mom and dad helped when they could.
Okay.
But so I took hunter safety, and I really went duck hunt, and so I found they didn't have YouTube and all that then, right? This is the mid 70s, okay?
Yeah.
And so I'd find everything I could on magazines, you know, Sports Afield, Field and Stream, Outdoor Life, right?
Gotcha.
So all I found out is I needed a 12-gauge shotgun, right? And I think when I was 14, I wrestled at 96 pounds, okay? So I go down, the only closest store that had anything sporting goods-wise like that was at JCPenney's. So I rode my bike down to JCPenney's.
You imagine if
mostly,
JCPenney's still sold those today? Like, that
oh
would be
yes,
crazy.
yes. I think they just do clothes now. I haven't been in one in years.
Yeah.
But they used to send us a big old thick catalog.
Hmm.
And I remember going in there and they ordered me a shotgun. And all I had to do was show them my hunter safety card. Here I am, 14, ordered a shotgun. They called the house when it came in. I went down and paid for it, and
Yeah.
rode my bike back with the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? And
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much it's changed in the world. Now we lived, wasn't real at the edge of town, but, it was the edge of Provo at the time. Provo, Utah, which is big now. I mean, it's always been a good-sized town, but not like it is today.
Yeah.
But, I mean, now I live further away, in Utah still. But anyway, I did that, and I remember my dad, because it was hard to write before I get too far into this, I remember I come across a garage sale, and they had a dozen decoys for like, I don't know, it was $2, okay?
Yeah.
Bought
Okay.
a dozen decoys for $2, found some kite string. I tied anything for a weight on these decoys you could imagine. I mean, spark plugs, anything to weigh it down, I mean, it was like, when you're a kid, you get creative that way.
Yeah.
And I'm just going off the stuff I read, right? So I wrote nothing. And I bought me a duck call. I can't remember where I bought it. I'll be honest. I remember it's a Falk's duck call, and I bet I sounded like, I don't know, like a duck
Like a moose.
Oh, God, it was terrible. I'm not kidding you. Like I said, there's nothing to listen to, so I'm trying out there. And I think back on it now, and I know why I never got anything that first year.
That's funny. Yeah, I went duck hunting, I think, for the first time like 2 years ago by myself. Same kind of thing. I wasn't 14, I was 30, 39, and I didn't get anything much either. I just sort of went out and, pun intended, was winging it. And it's a tough thing. And I had YouTube to help me, so good on you, especially at 14.
And anyway, it went out. My dad took me out about 3 times that year. I mean, it's funny. My dad always encouraged us to do things, right? And he saw I got into it, and so he'd take me out to the lake, sleep in the truck for about 3 hours, and I'd come back. And Michael, I'd go out maybe 100 yards, throw the decoys out, quack on. I mean, I don't know if he even saw a duck. I can't remember if he even saw a duck that first year, but anyway. But the only thing that saved me is I still had fish, and so I'd ride my bike down the river and fish. But
There you go.
But I remember the next year when I was 15, my first duck. This is how I got into hunting. It was about my second trip out. I remember Dad sleeping and we were the only ones out there in the marsh at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I go out there and I should backtrack just a little bit. My dad had said, "Hey, look, I saw a bunch of ducks over here. Why don't you go over and try it?" So that's what I did, and went out there, and a bunch of gadwalls,
Okay.
and I know I just knew they were ducks,
Yeah.
and they flew right over. I mean, I shot. It's about there was like I don't think 4 or 5 in this group. I shot at the lead one, and the back one fell. I mean, like a brick fell. And I learned a lot right there. But
Yeah.
remember, I grabbed that duck, and I could pick. I mean, I didn't have the decoys all the way out yet. So I put them all in there, and I walked back to the truck, and I was so excited about that one duck. Showed my dad, and I didn't know how to prepare it even. I mean, so I did like we do chickens, right? I thought, well, okay. So I just plucked it, gutted it out. And I'll be honest, we cooked it up, and Michael, it tasted so bad. It tasted terrible.
Did your whole family eat it? I mean, there's not even a family of 8 kids, 2 adults, 10 people. There's not enough food in one duck. So who got a piece?
Well, there was everybody had a taste, right?
Okay.
And it was inclusive in the family that nobody liked it. Okay, it was terrible.
That's too funny. So did your dad hunt at all, or is he just like, hey, Dan's into this, let's go support him?
Yeah, he just drive me out and like I say, he was self-employed. He was a cabinet maker and
Okay.
Woodworker, and so I'd wake up early, he'd take me out, and I think he thought, well, golly, he's being ambitious. You know what I'm saying? As a teenager, so he had to fight me to do everything else, and he'd kick my butt to do it. But when it come to that, he was thrilled to death to take me out. But but then the next year, I was 16, so I had my first kill, right?
Yeah. On the board.
Next year, yes. So I'm officially a hunter now. Okay. So the next year, I had a good friend I met. We're in high school now. That was junior high, so we're in high school, and I was in my English class. I met a good friend of mine, and he would start talking hunting, and I go, yeah. But his dad was a big elk hunter, and so we became good friends. And that year, then,
Yeah.
he invited me on the elk hunt with him. So again, just reading what I can find. 30-06 seemed to be the thing. Okay.
Okay.
Now at this time, okay, I'd grown a little bit. It was 112 pounds now. Okay.
Hey.
That's what I
become a man.
I'm growing up, I think I was 5'6" at the time, 112 pounds,
Okay. Yep.
And so I read 30-06 is a thing to get. I asked his dad, said, yeah, 30-06 is a good caliber. So I had my license then, so I drove down to a sporting goods store, bought my 30-06. I'm by myself, right? Bought a Ruger M77, which I still have, with the cheap 4-power Bushnell scope, which.
Okay.
And we didn't know anything. It was a scope, but it was cheap, so I bought it. And I bought 2 boxes of shells, and I remember shooting that thing for the first time. Michael, that thing, I think I shot the first time, and it kicked me so hard. I'm going, I don't know if I like this. But I suffered through it, man. I suffered through, probably half a box of shells, trying to sight it in.
Yeah.
We'd sight in 100 yards, and I my grouping at 100 yards was probably 8 or 9 inches, to be honest with you, right?
All right, it's a good start.
Yeah, well, yeah. And we're trying to shoot 2 inches above the 100-yard mark, right?
Yeah. Here's a question for you. So,
yes.
How did you learn to sight in? Was it magazines and things like that as well at that time, or did your dad have some experience with that?
No, this is where my friend Paul, his dad.
Okay, got it.
Helped me out. Okay, sorry. Yeah, he helped me out. We go out, and he'd sight his rifle in, and Paul sighted his in, and so he helped me out quite a bit. When it comes to the rifle aspect, he helped me out a lot.
Okay.
And but I'll be honest, I think of that group now, and it's a wonder I ever hit anything with that rifle. But anyway, so right before the hunt, we go out and shoot again, and I think I shot another half a box, right? Mm-hmm. My group was a little bit better, but I flinched so bad, Michael. Like I say.
Midway USA has everything you need for a successful day at the range. Load up your range bag with your targets, shooting rest bags, eye and ear protection, as well as magazine pouches, mag loaders, and basic gun cleaning supplies. Protect your favorite firearms with durable, hard, or soft gun cases, and bring along your tactical or shooting vest to carry additional gear and gadgets. Midway USA has all you need for the range, plus self-defense and safe storage products to ensure your guns and gear are well organized and secure for when you get back home. For just about everything for shooting, shop MidwayUSA.com.
How I hit anything, I'll never know. And so here I am, my first. I go out. Our hunt back then would open on a Wednesday. Okay. And so we always took Wednesday through the weekend off for that first day, and then the next weekend we take a long weekend. Well, here I am. And now, Paul Glenn is Paul's dad. Glenn was a running gunner. And he had this little whistle, his elk whistle, he called it, right? Just a little wood thing. I don't know it might have been homemade. It looked homemade to me, but I don't know.
Okay.
But he just blow on this thing, and he'd get elk to answer him. Now, back then in the 70s, and at least in Utah, the elk numbers aren't like they are today. Okay, the elk were still on the rebound coming up. So I think they got them back in, and I could be wrong on this, so don't quote me too hard on this.
Okay.
I want to say the late 50s, early 60s, they got elk established again, I want to say.
That's interesting. As a newer hunter, I just always assumed that there were just elk everywhere back in the 70s, 80s, and so it's interesting to hear that the populations aren't as good as they are now, which is great, really, but I had no idea.
Yeah, the elk numbers are a lot better then. I should look it up. I could be totally wrong. Because if you shot an elk, now, also, when you go on the elk hunt then, compared to today, now, Utah back then, the population was very small, okay?
Yeah.
Besides the canyon you're camped in, you might see 5 or 6 camps in the whole canyon, right? When we were hunting, we never saw anybody, okay? So anyway, go back to So we're loading up, and I didn't have hunting clothes. Now, hunting clothes back then, you went to the Army surplus store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just buying, you think the Army, how things are made, right? And they were made well. They wore well, but a lot of stuff was cotton, as you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So I have a couple pants I bought at the surplus and a couple shirts, and a jacket to stay warm, and an old mummy bag that I had I had that thing for years. I think when my kids started using it, they finally destroyed it. But it was it was a feather. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's another story how they destroyed it. But anyway, so we going up there, and I'm excited. You know how it is. I'm 16. I am just pumped. I am so excited to go out, and anticipation. The classic. I still don't sleep the night of the opener anymore, even now.
Yeah, it's that's the toughest night to sleep, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
After hiking 10 miles, the next night's not all that hard to sleep, but that first night.
Next guy's crashed like a brick. But so that next Wednesday we go up, and of course I was young and in shape, but Glenn, I'm trying to think, he was at that time in his 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, he's probably later 50s. It was all I could do to keep up with him. We'd go to these ridges and we'd glass, and he'd blow out whistle if something answered. We just went after it. It was, I don't know how many miles we hiked. I had the faintest idea. I didn't even know where I was at. I was just following along, right?
Yeah.
I was just trying to keep up. And so it's funny because the next day, I got rid of some of the stuff I thought I didn't need in my pack, okay? Some of those, okay, I'm not going to take this or that, so I made it a little bit lighter so it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
And we did okay then. We still didn't see any elk, though. I think we had just one answer that day, but we still covered a ton of ground.
So was his call pretty close to an elk call, or was it more like he's getting shock bugles back is what he was aiming for, kind of like a turkey call?
It was sort of like a bugle. To me, it sounded more like a coyote, to be honest, somewhat. Because when you do it, we get coyotes. Coyotes would answer us half the time, too,
Yeah. So he's just trying to hit that high pitch and let it go through the canyons and hope something thinks they hear it's something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a location bugle,
Yeah.
But it wasn't near that refined, believe me. It was just think of taking, those little flutes you get in elementary school, like recorders, they called them.
Yeah.
Think of blowing out things as hard as you can. That's about what it sounded like.
I'm thinking Willy Wonka, the old movie, the original, where he's got that little whistle. He's like, right when he calls in the boats and all that stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. But just wailing on it. So Willy Wonka calling elk. Okay, continue.
Yes. There you go. That's a good analogy. That's really good. I like that. And anyway, then Friday hit, right? Now I've seen 2 elk in 2 days, and I'm still enjoying it. You're on the mountains. I was falling in love with it, to be honest.
It's easy to do.
We're up there, and it's about, I'm thinking 10 in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this, all of a sudden we're glassing across there, and there was probably a dozen elk, and there was a bigger 6. I don't know how to judge any of this, right? All I know is it had horns, and it wasn't for Glenn saying it was a nice 6. I wouldn't know the difference, okay?
Okay.
And there was a couple of satellite poles hanging out, and he takes off. I'm running. He has me you sit in the saddle, okay? And he took Paul up and put Paul in another saddle, and he's hooking around the elk. He says, "These elk, when I spook them, they come by you." And anyway, I'm excited, right? I'm waiting, and Michael, all of a sudden, these elk start funneling through, and they're only like 50 yards away, and I'm getting excited. I'm shaking so bad. And all of a sudden, this little raghorn, one of those satellite poles, a little 3x4 antlers, maybe 2 foot tall if I'm lucky. Okay.
Yeah.
I just had antlers. I pull. All I could see is like the neck up, and he's stopping, looking around, and I pull up, and I have this little window of maybe 5 or 6 feet through the trees.
Okay.
And all I see is the neck and head. Well, I'm shaking so bad, Michael. I figured when I shake down, I will shoot. Okay. Well, I shoot, and now you have to think about this. A new hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you focused on? When you see a
yeah. I don't even know. Like I feel like I just black out. It's like you're in the moment. I couldn't even tell you.
was looking at the antlers.
Oh no! Oh no! I know where this is going. Okay.
So I pull up, and I figured, and thank goodness I'd probably shaken, because when I shook down, I pulled the trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this elk just starts shaking its head. And all these things, you know how those things go through your mind real fast, and you're trying to, what am I going to do, man? I'm thinking I shot his jaw, it's going to go die. So I run up to, I charge the elk, okay? And I get within maybe 10 feet of it, and I'm going downhill. I'm jumping over deadfall, and all of a sudden the elk whips around and looks at me, and I'm thinking, he's going to charge me, which he's probably, right?
Yeah.
Well, my gun is at my hip, okay? I hip shoot this thing. I hit it right through the throat.
Hey, cowboy, Dan.
Oh, yeah, it was on. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was near the elk.
Yeah. Okay, so where did you hit it?
I hit it just below where the jaw is, right in the front.
Okay.
It's facing me, okay, about throat level.
Okay.
And it came out the back of the skull.
What?
Well, this thing, after I shoot, this thing rears up like a horse. At this time, I'm still, and Michael, I don't know if I shot again or not. They say I did. I don't remember, okay? This thing rears up 10 feet away. It rears up and fell over backwards, put its antlers right in the dirt, you know, and just like a horse.
Yeah.
Come up with boom. And it's laying there, and all of a sudden it hits me. I killed this thing, you know what I mean? Now see, there's other up in the area, right? And Paul's up in another little saddle, and Glenn's out there. Well, Glenn here's me shoot. I only thought I shot twice, but he says I shot 3 or 4 times. So
Okay.
I don't remember. I just remember those 2 shots, okay?
Yeah.
And so he comes running over there, and I've never gutted anything. I've never done it. Fish, closest thing I've gutted, right?
Yeah.
And he says, start gutting this thing out. And then Paul shot. So Paul shoots, so he runs up to Paul, right? So this poor Glenn, he's going back and forth. These 2, 16-year-old kids.
Yeah,
And,
I got 2 elk down, and I got 2 16-year-old backs with me right now. Oh, goodness.
So he said he said to start gutting it, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I'll gut it like a fish. So I started the butthole, you know what I mean? And for some reason, I always remember somebody saying you ream it out. And to this day, I still don't ream out a butthole like they want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how do they do? Anyway, I court them now and do the gutless method. So I don't worry about it anymore. But so I slice up, I get up to the rib cage, and it took me, oh, God, if it wasn't a half hour just to get the guts out, right? I know what I'm doing. I'm trying not to get because one thing he said to be careful with, try not to cut the belly, right? You know, you don't want to cut that stuff.
At least he gave you that advice before he ran off.
Yeah. So I'm being very careful, right? And I roll the guts out, and I finally get them out, and that little cavity where the hearts and lungs are.
Okay.
Well, I cut away that little, I don't know what the little skin flap is there, but in the diaphragm area. Well, I get it out, and I slice his throat. So I'm trying to think this through, right, as best as a kid can.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you can just pull the whole windpipe out in the lungs and heart all together, because they were all, how that is.
Reasonable.
In there. Yeah. So I'm trying to tug on this, and you have to think, I'm 112 pounds, okay? And I have blood up to my shoulders by now, right? And so I'm thinking, God, I'll just sit on the ground right here, put my feet up against its ribs and pull harder, because I felt it give away a little bit.
Okay.
I'm pulling. Well, all of a sudden, Michael, it gives away, okay? I roll down the hill, through the gut pile, and I'm still holding on to and I roll down about 10 feet down the hill, hit a, deadfall, and I'm sitting there holding this thing, and I'm wide-eyed, and I mean, there's blood and guts. I smell terrible. And I'm going, and about that time, Glenn came over about the time I was rolling down the hill, right?
Oh, my
So all he
gosh.
sees is blood all over me. I mean, covered in blood. Hold it out, right? And he goes, are you okay? And I go, I think so. And then he just starts laughing. Okay? He starts just laughing at me. And he goes, he come over there and he says, well, you got it done, I guess, And I'm saying, he goes, I have to hand it to you,
Yeah. The guts are out.
Yeah, they're out. And And by this time, I think it's around 10, I want to say 10ish in the morning or so. Now, by
Okay.
this time, it's noon or so before he gets over to me. And Paul, who had shot, had missed. And thank goodness, because 2 elk up there would have been, because getting that one out was hard enough.
I bet. My goodness.
Yeah, so he comes over there, and it's funny, this first time like I said, I've never seen anything cleaned or quartered or anything. And so,
Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
he has us 2 6-year boys and him. That's all there is. So he takes off the front shoulders. He gets the front 2 legs off, right? That's pretty easy. I thought, oh, okay, I can do that. That looked easy. And then he took the back straps, we call the poison straps, the tenderloins. We always call them poison straps.
Why is
And
that?
we took all that, just so people wouldn't eat them, so we could have them.
No. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what he'd say. He goes, we call these poison straps. And that's what I said. How come? And he goes, so nobody else will eat them but us. So.
I might adopt that. I might start calling the That's funny. Okay, continue.
Yeah, no problem. So he gets that off, and he gets the back straps and most of the meat off, and he puts a front quarter on each one of ours with a back strap, tenderloins, and divides those 2 up, right? Well, he goes back to the backbone there where the hips are, and he had a little saw. He saws it apart there, so he has he has both hind quarters there, right?
Mhm.
Well, he wraps his hind quarters up in a he had a little tarp, like a little 5x5 tarp he would have there. He always had in his pack, and he put that in, wrapped it up, and this one now. At that time, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do as I got older. But he took those 2 hind quarters like that and put them on his shoulders, just carried them like the elk was straddling them, like those 2 hind quarters.
Wow. Okay.
And I could tell it was heavy because he's like I say, he's a go-getter. And you have to think he's in his late 50s. Well, anyway.
That's a lot of weight, 2 hindquarters with kind of the stuff in between. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I was just shocked. You know what I mean?
I bet that's 150 pounds plus is my guess.
I mean, and me and Paul are going down dying, and he's talking to us and come on, you guys, we got to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just going, boy.
He's like, this is the fun part, boys. This is the fun part.
Because that's what I told him. He told me, he goes, you know what? This is the part that just kicks your butt. But he says, you know what? As soon as we're done hunting, we plan on next year doing it again. And we do.
Yep.
Can't wait till next year.
So a lot of time of these stories, some of the best parts of the stories aren't the hunt or the harvest. It's often the pack out. Like it's probably more than 50% of the adventure.
Oh yeah. And that's what kicked my butt. I mean, we're lucky because most of there's only a little bit of steep downhill. Most of it just goes downhill to a little creek, and then there's a good trail at the creek we followed out.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay. So we get to camp, and now at camp it's, oh God, I know it's just almost dark, so it would have been probably around 7:30 time to get out. So it took us a good 5 or 6 hours, which isn't bad compared to some I've done since, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's impressive that you guys got a whole elk out, even a raghorn in one trip with 2 16-year-olds and 1 adult. Like that's impressive.
Well, because he was thinking it took us almost 7 hours, or maybe it was closer to 8. Anyway, it took us about 7 hours to get it off.
Yeah,
and we were beat. But okay, so we get the beat taken care of, right? And we're by this creek called Huntington Canyon's the name of the canyon we were at. And there's a creek in there. And he goes, Dan, says, you did a great job today, but you ain't getting in my tent until you take a bath. Okay.
I envision you still holding the larynx, right, with the lungs and the heart and everything still in your hands. I can still see that. Oh, I believe it. Glenn's a wise man.
Yeah, and I mean, so I take off my clothes, and I only have other set of clothes. I mean, that's how prepared I was. I only had 2 sets, right? So I take those clothes off. We put them in a trash bag, not to throw, but to, take home later. And that water was so cold. And I walked by the road, right? I don't know how many people drove by. Not to showing off because it was so cold. I mean, I was dying. I mean, I'd wash up and he'd come out there and go, nope, you got to do it again. And I don't know if he screwed with me a little bit, because I was in that creek 3 times before he let me in the tent,
That's too funny.
And I remember going in there, but it was, after I was said and done, it was sort of refreshing, to be honest. But,
yeah.
But at least I didn't smell like, but I think I smelled like elk the rest of that hunt. All I could smell were elk, it seemed like, for me.
I believe it. I believe it. My goodness. It was under your nails, just in your soul. You were filled with elk blood for that.
Oh, yeah. It was just one of those funny, my first elk. So now I shoot this elk, right? So I get back home, and, around the neighborhood, a little community, everybody finds out, man, Dan shot an elk. And I guess that's quite an accomplishment, okay? It was for me personally, but I didn't realize that was a big deal. So everybody starts thinking, oh man, maybe there's something to this, little snot-nosed kid, And of course, I'm in high school in the 70s, so we all had the little bit longer hair,
Okay.
Which I look more like Napoleon Dynamite than anything else. But anyway, matter of fact, picture Napoleon Dynamite about 5'8". That was me, okay?
Gosh, Tina.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Been in that show, by the way. My kids said it was great. Took me 4 tries, but anyway.
Yeah, that's one of those movies. I watched it the first time, and I was like, I don't know what this is all about. And then the second time, I was like, okay, I think I might appreciate it. You have to watch it multiple times to even start understanding Napoleon Dynamite. But that's not why we're here. Let's go back. To your newfound fame.
So now, I'm addicted to elk, right? And then 2 weeks later is the deer hunt. Now, having getting an elk off the mountain, looking at deer, mule deer, I'm thinking, oh, this is a piece of cake. Well, the biggest thing I remember about that hunt was as soon as daybreak hits, right, there's me and another friend of mine who, he was a neighbor that liked to hunt, right? And since I got an elk, I was getting a lot of invites to go hunting. It was sort of funny, I thought, right? So I thought, oh, yeah, I have no way of getting up. So I went up with a friend of mine named Steve, and he was 2 years older than I was, a really good guy. Well, this 4-point comes out, and like I say, I'm new to, I don't know how to judge these things. All I know is it looked like a monster deer to me. I knew it had 4 points because I was looking at it pretty good. Well, I pull up to shoot at it, right? And my trigger's not moving. So, now listen to this detail, because I click off my safety, open my bolt. Yeah, there's shell and everything in there. I slam it again, put my safety on, pull up. It let me pull up twice on it, and my trigger wouldn't move. Well, of course, by then it runs off, right?
Yeah.
And Steve is over here. Steve goes, "Why did you shoot it?" I said, "Something's wrong with my gun." Well, I forgot to take the safety off. I literally put it in, put it back on, and my safety worked really well, by the way. That was one of those stupid moments. You go, I can't believe I just did that.
Yep.
Well,
it's one of those moments that you learn something, right? You'll probably never make that mistake. You probably never made that mistake again, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Michael, I've learned so much. Like I said, all my learning of hunting was by trial and error, and mostly error, okay?
Yeah.
I screwed up. The more screw-ups I made, I thought, okay. And that'll lead into another story here in a minute. But,
perfect.
And then about 15 minutes later, this 3-point shows up with about 6 other deer, and there's another little 2. And Steve had saw him first anyway, and I kept waiting for him to shoot, and I go, "Steve, you gonna shoot?" And he says, "I can't find the buck." And I go, "Are you okay if I shoot it?" Because he saw the deer first, right? And he goes, "Oh, yeah, if you have the shot, take it." And a little over 100 yards, I shoot it, drop it dead as a brick. You know what I mean? I go, "What can we do against the big one?" That was one of those,
Yeah.
But I was 16. And so
that's a hell of a first season, Dan. First big game season.
Yeah. I elk and a deer, and by this, everybody's thinking, "Man, this scrawny little idiot." I mean, he's either real lucky or something. You know what I'm saying? And it was luck. I'll be honest. I didn't know what I was doing. It was the old
rather be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And I bet your parents were like, all right, look at all this meat. We got 8 kids to feed.
Oh, yeah.
This is amazing.
And this was what was good because my mom grew up with that.
Okay.
So she knew how to prepare all the deer and elk. Okay, now, by this time, duck season gets mixed into this too, okay? So I'm driving, so I probably went duck hunting more than I should have because I should have been in school more, okay?
Okay.
And you could say my car and shotgun, the only reason I could use my car is to go to work and to school. You know what I mean? My mom was my mom was like 5'4", maybe 5'2", I don't know. She's redhead, and she's a true, it was down the line. You know what I'm saying? The school called her, and she'd have to ask which son. And, it was, you came home, and it was, I'd rather deal with my dad, put it that way.
Yeah. That's funny.
Anyway, now the next story, I'm more. It's one of those live and learn. When it's the classic, I know you like poop stories. Okay.
Oh no.
One of those classic ones.
Everybody likes them. Don't single me out, Dan. Everybody likes a good poop story. All right. It's not just Michael, the poop guy. It's everybody.
If you're full of it, Mike, what I mean?
All right. Well, hit us with it, man. Figuratively.
Okay. Now this, yes. And don't want it to hit the fan. But anyway, I'm in my early 30s now, okay?
Okay.
And the next year I got into bow hunting my senior year in high school. Let me backtrack a little bit. I had a church leader that we'd have little youth activities every week. Well, instead of going, we would usually, because I didn't work those nights, so I would go fishing or hunting usually, okay? Well, I had a youth leader that was quite a bow hunter. And he took us out and he said, if you guys cannot shoot me with your rifles at 50 yards, and I'll use my bow, you guys use whatever rifle, whatever weapon you want to bring. If I shoot you, you got to promise to come to these youth activities, right?
Oh,
so,
man.
We're young, cocky, we're thinking, oh, man, we're going to waste this old man. You know what I mean?
Did he have a compound or a stick bow?
It was actually compound.
Okay.
Compounds were really new, and he had a recurve. He had the traditional too, but he'd got this. And we didn't know this. You ever heard of Jennings bows back? They don't not in business. I don't know when they went out of business. Well, we didn't know that he shot for Jennings. Okay, so he'd go.
So he's a pro
anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got to these 50 yards, and we're shooting. I think I was shooting at 22. I think we all shot 22s, right? At 50 yards, you can imagine your group, right?
Yeah.
He shoots 3 times at arrows. He almost hit his arrows. That's how good he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
he's hedging his bet. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he smoked us. It was, and we're going, holy cow! And plus, he went to BYU here, and he was a wrestler.
Okay.
And me being a wrestler, we got along really well. You know what I mean? So we had something in common. So, he said that if you come up with the money, I'll buy you some bows. I got some ties for buying bows. And what we'll do for our activity for the summer is we'll go bow hunting in August. Our bow hunt starts in August, right?
Okay.
Now, back then, we got set up for $80. That included bow, arrows, and broadheads.
Wow.
Okay. It was a Browning Cobra bow we had. There was 3 of us,
Okay. Do you still have that bow? I know you still have your first gun. Do you still have that bow?
I don't. That I sold the upgrade to the next one after that.
Okay. Understandable.
But I still have my original shotgun and rifle, though,
okay.
to this day. But, and nowadays, how bows cost, what, $1,100-$1,200?
If you're lucky, they're like 12 to 13, or the carbon ones are $2,000 at this point.
Oh yeah, they're getting so outrageous. And I think $80 we were set up. Now they were aluminum arrows, and we didn't want. When you shot 50 yards with our bows, you could have a sandwich and a Coke before the arrow would hit the target. You know what I'm saying? It was you just watch it go.
Yeah.
But our arrows were probably in the. I never weighed them because I didn't know what I wasn't into it like that, but I bet our arrows were 500-600 grains easy.
Okay.
We used Bear Razor and the Zwicky broadheads that were probably 150, 200 grain, and an arrow that was probably, I don't know, 400 at least, aluminum arrow, XX75s. I remember that. And anyway, so we're real slow, okay? And like I said, and we had a ball. We never got a deer that year at our little camp we did for a week-long hunt, And I think you did it too, because it's easy to talk. Well, God, I take these youth out on their summer activity, And so,
yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. So I started falling in love with bow hunting, okay? I didn't get my first animal till I was in my mid-20s. It took me 5 or 6 years to get my first deer. But, so anyway, so by this time, I love to bow hunt elk. That's I tell people.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
I'm a elk hunter that likes to deer and duck hunt. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
And so anyway, I'm in my early 30s. I'm thinking 31, 32. And we have a place we like to hunt. Now, at this time, most of the state, a lot of our good elk areas went to spike only. But on the bow hunt, you could shoot a spike or a cow, all right?
Okay.
But on the rifle or muzzleloader, you can only shoot a spike. Now, we do have some any bull areas like in Uintas and stuff like that, or the desert. But the desert's very few elk. I mean, those people that know where the elk are in the desert are very tight-lipped. I mean, you'd get shot if you try to follow them. They're tight-lipped about that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's gold,
Yeah.
So anyway, get back to my story. The night before, me and my buddy I'm usually when we bow hunt, we go on our own. We're sort of solo hunters. We have a base camp, and then we sort of go solo from there. Okay. It's how we've always done it. I don't know why, but that's how we've always done it. And probably because 2 people are allowed, or for deer especially, elk.
Yeah.
You can
also cover more ground, more eyes over more country. There's lots of good reasons to do that.
Now we correlate when we got back. Well, the night before I was down there and I'd seen a group of elk that were just below camp. Because where we camp at, it's like on a big ridge, a nice open area. We camp on the edge of a meadow in the pines. And this meadow's probably a good half a mile long, but it's like 150 miles. 150 miles, my heck. 150 yards.
Okay.
I wish I could cover 150 miles. That'd be something else. But anyway.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a day.
So, yeah, it was. Now it was the next morning. But anyway. So I see them, and we get back to camp, and he had seen some elk also. He says, well, Dan, I'm going to go over here because I saw a bunch of elk over there. And so I'm going to just go down below camp. So the time we got into camp, it was around 10 o'clock before we got into camp in August. It doesn't get dark till 9. The time you hike back to your machine or truck and get back to camp is about 10. So I think I ate something around 10:30, 11-ish, and then crashed. And the next morning I woke up around 5. And this is what's funny, is my stomach wasn't bugging me or nothing. You know what I mean? I slept great. Yeah. Got dressed. I'm starting to go down off on the ridges there. And I'm sitting there and I'm glassing and I hear the elk. I hear them mewing down there. And there's one little bull in there bugling. And so I'm going, oh man. So I'm getting, pretty excited. So I worked my way down and I snuck into the elk. They were coming up. I was going across. And anyway, we went right into each other, okay? And I blew the opportunity. I mean, the elk, if I'd been paying attention, I could have had a good shot. You know what I'm saying? Because they were like 10 yards from, they busted out. It was, I do that quite often. I mean, I screw it up more than I bust more opportunities and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, man, I blew it. Well, that's when I first felt my stomach gurgling, okay?
Uh-oh. I forgot that's what the story was about. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So I had to lead into it, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I blew it, and my stomach's gurgling a little bit, and I thought, And then I'd only carry, I'd take the toilet paper, make a little wad, throw it in my pack, right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought, okay, I'm going to go over this other ridge and just see if they just went over the next ridge and held up, just in case. Well, I start going to that ridge, and my stomach's really starting to act up now, okay? Well, you know how you have to fart? Well, I thought it was a fart.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
a shart. We're talking shart.
Yes. And it was a good one, okay? I mean, it was, I go, oh, man. And I'm only like maybe a mile from camp, but it's all uphill, but it's not real steep, so I'm not in the steep stuff yet. I'm thinking, okay, this is bad. So I take my pack off and everything and strip down, and I thought, okay, I just used my underwear to wipe up, right? Best I could.
Been there.
It was, it was quite a mess, okay? So then I take and put my underwear under a rock,
Yeah.
So I put my pants back on, and I start going back to camp, and I get maybe, probably half a mile. And you know how it is when you have to go so bad. I could not get my pack and pants off. I mean, it was like,
yeah. That's when you're walking straight up. You're like, I can't bend. You're just walking like stiff as a board. Yeah.
I thought to myself, okay, Dan, you can do this, man. Man up here, Well, now I'm hitting a little bit of a steep part. There's only like and of course, had to be on the steep part. Never fails,
Yeah.
And it's only like a 30-yard steep portion. But there was no going back, right? So I'm ripping everything off. I mean, I put my pants down, and I mean, it was like a Japanese bullet train, man. It was,
God.
And I'm going.
That's so descriptive.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, man, and it stunk, too. That's what the other thing stunk so bad. Well, so I sit there for a minute and go, okay, I survived that. I mean, I'm starting to, I'm sweating a little bit by now, right? I mean, it's okay. Well, I get up, and you have to remember, sort of steep. I'm trying to keep my feet apart so I don't, crap on my boots.
Mm-hmm.
I barely get my pants up, and Michael, I slip down on it, right?
Oh, no.
Right on it. It's all over my butt end.
Okay, so you, fell on it. You didn't, step or... Oh, my goodness. Pants up or pants down?
They were about halfway up my butt crack, okay?
All right. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here going, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to wipe them off the best I can. And I thought, okay, I got enough dirt on it. Well, I get them back on because, I'm going to go pantsless or whatever. But so I get them back on. Well, I finally make it to the edge of this, the meadow, right? And it hit me again.
Goodness gracious.
And again, it was, whatever it was, it was like bad diarrhea. I mean, it was, it literally kicked my butt, okay?
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Yes,
and
dude,
so,
food poisoning or something.
Yeah, that's all I could figure. Whatever I ate the night before, and I can't remember what it was. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so by now, I have no toilet paper left. My pants are all poopy, and I had to poop again. And now it's sort of all over me, my butt and my, and so I thought, okay, it's only like 9 a.m. or so, at the edge of this meadow. So I took off my pants, took my knife and cleaned myself up, right? So here I am. I have no pants on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I used it to wipe myself off. And I thought the pants, you know what? I'm going to throw them away anyway. You know what I mean? So I do that. I try to hide everything under a deadfall. I'm trying to ditch it. I'm trying to be the good, outdoors, but don't want to leave any trace, right? So I'm sitting there. So I'm thinking, okay, I got 150 yards to this meadow. And back then, a lot of people didn't bow hunt like they do today, okay?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'll be okay. So this big open meadow has that, knee-high sagebrush on about the first half of it, and then you have the grasses, okay? And it's those sagebrush that, you have to be careful. At night, it's hard to walk through them because you trip and fall, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I get about halfway, and it hits me again. And by
goodness.
now, there's not much left in me, right?
You're running on empty.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I'm there and I'm going, man, what is wrong with me? I mean, I'm sweating, you know what I mean? And so I sit there and I do the best I can. So I cut off my one arm sleeve on my sweatshirt, right?
Gosh,
or my
by
t-shirt.
the time you're back at camp, Dan, you're going to be naked here.
Well, that's,
I think that's where we're going, but keep going.
yeah, so I sit there and I rest. Okay, I think I'm done. So I'm getting up and I'm listening for, a vehicle to come in, right? Because Blaine's on his wheeler and I'm going, okay. Or there was a three-wheeler back then, okay? He's on a three-wheeler and I can't hear it. He probably won't get to camp till noon anyways. That's about what we do, unless we come across him and end up chasing him. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. I have no pants on my pack, so I'm thinking, God. So I thought, I have my sweater, my hoodie. So I tied my hoodie around my waist, okay? I have one sleeve off. My hoodie's around my waist. I have my pack and my bow, and I'm not feeling. And all of a sudden, I hear a wheeler coming, and I'm thinking, there's Blaine. But then I hear a truck also, and I'm going, what in the world? So, I mean, I bet I would have made the Olympic team that day. I'm at least about 100 yards from the camp. I am doing the hurdles, jumping over things, right? Well, the urge hits again. Okay, so I'm a mess, okay? There's crap.
I can tell.
And also they come around there, and all they see is me with no pants on, and my pack and bow, right? And I run to the truck, and I got the truck, and I got cleaned up the best I could, got dressed, and they're just laugh. I mean, I hear what had happened. Is Blaine had shot an elk that morning. Well, he went down. There's about 14 miles away is a gas station on Daniel's Summit. He called to get some help because he'd shot it down in a hole. Okay. There's him and two other people I work with. Okay.
Oh no.
That is people you work with, right? They see me running naked, and I'm all I have. They go, man, Dan, you went totally native on us. I mean, so I get dressed and they go, and they're laughing, okay? I mean, they're laughing. And they go, what in the world? And I said, I don't know what I ate last night, but I'm crapping everything out, okay? Of course, that makes it funnier, they're just laughing. Said,
yeah.
In your sleeve on your shirt? And I go, oh, yeah, in my underwear. And, I mean, it was a disaster, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
So they're laughing at me. And anyway, that last run took all the rest out of me because, man, I got cleaned up, best I could, and I just, laid in the tent and I'll be honest, whatever it was went through me. But I went hunting that evening,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you had a second pair of pants and underpants.
Yeah, well, I had one other set of clothes, and that was it. I had actually two or three sets of clothes then. But yeah. But one thing I learned from that is now when I go out, I bring plenty of toilet paper, and I put some wipes in a baggie, 4 or 5 of them, in the center tube. And that was a lesson. The best, it's been
the best lesson you could have learned.
I tell you what, when I see that, they always go, like when I took my boys out, because they always knew I'd have plenty of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Toilet paper. Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine. You've probably heard my story about last season with my moose where we were packing it out, right? And when we get back with the first round, I'm like, I need to dump everything out of my pack and go get this last thing, get the last hindquarter or whatever it was. And so I took my teepee out. I took everything out but water. And I get halfway up, and I'm like, oh, Lord, this is happening. So conveniently, I was wearing, pants, and then I had, a set of long johns because it was pretty cool. We were up at, 11,000 feet. Then I had a pair of boxer briefs. So it's a funny story because, I go, and I'm like, how do I clean this up? My buddy's like, I've got moss, and he's trying to, bring me moss. I'm like, keep your moss to yourself. I'm not wiping my ass with moss. But I'm trying to rip my underpants off because I don't want to take off my 3 layers and my boots and all this stuff. Well, I'm just like, I'll just rip these underpants off thinking I'm the strongest man in the world. Turns out underpants are my kryptonite. and I can't get them off. So I'm like just ripping these things and trying, and they're just stretching, and I'm like, what is happening? Like exploding out of my underpants. It was just ridiculous. But I got it done. Yeah, got it cleaned up, got up the hill, packed the moose out, end of the trip. So it wasn't quite like yours, but still, I wrestled for a minute there with my own britches.
And well, that's where a knife comes in handy. I always had the knife, so that was always nice to have. But that was probably the classic, the one I learned the most on. I believe it. I'd never go out without plenty of toilet paper and wipes. It was so miserable because when I ran through that scrub oak, not the scrub oak, I apologize, the sagebrush, about from the thighs down, and thank goodness it was only up to the thighs. I was scratched up for running through that brush. It was it was just that was, and it's funny because after that I was fine. I mean, I don't know what it was that I ate. It had to be something I ate. It's all I could figure, and it just hit me for some reason weird.
That's too funny, Dan. That's a funny story. I appreciate you sharing it. It's always great when someone can laugh at themselves a little bit.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you could have just kept that story to yourself and no one would have ever really known, but you shared it. Well, so here we are.
I'm pretty sure somewhere that these guys have told that story enough times that most people I know have heard it. You know what I mean?
I'd actually like to hear their story. It's always fun to get someone else on who's like the recipient of the end of some crazy story. It'd be fun to hear what they thought when they saw you running.
And it got bigger. They tell it like, one version's a bear chasing me and no clothes on, And anyway, one says I was hallucinating.
Oh my goodness. Well, Dan, man, this was a ton of fun, man. I'm running a low on time here, so we'll wrap this thing up. But let me ask, do you want to share any socials? Do you have any socials, or do you just want to walk off into the sunset?
Well, the only thing I really have is a few years ago I got off Facebook because I got tired of the Facebook. Okay, I'll be honest.
Makes sense.
It's like I tell people I want to love my family and like my friends, so I got off it, Anyway, so but I do have Instagram, and it's just PAP Thunder.
PAP Thunder. All right. Well, I'll link that in the show notes. But Dan, this was a lot of fun. Those were some amazing stories. I enjoyed everything from the duck hunting. The visual of you yanking out the guts of that elk and rolling down the hill. That's too much fun. The visual of you running naked, covered in crap, is not that fun, but I'll remember that one too. So thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you reaching out and then sharing your stories. Thank you so much, Dan.
No problem. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a feeling we'll have you back on in the future, and I think you'll probably have some additional stories for us. We'll make sure to get that done.
Michael, I have a ton of stories. Believe me, that just scratched the surface. But those are probably the two messiest stories I could think of.
Okay. Well, we'll get you on for sure then. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You bet.
All right, man. That was great.
Well.
All right, guys. That's it. Another couple stories in the books. Again, I want to thank Dan for reaching out. He specifically said, hey, I hear you want some old timers to tell some good stories, and I do. I think that the people that were doing this before a lot of us were alive probably have some super unique experiences compared to what hunting is like now. So, Dan, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. For you listeners, if you have some stories you want to tell, reach out to us. You can find Instagram. I got to figure out how to get it back into the show notes because I changed providers recently. But reach out to me. I'd love to hear your stories. If you want to get your folks on, your dad, your grandpa, whoever it may be, mom, whatever, let me know. I'd love to get more stories from back in the day. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, and get out there and make some stories of your own.